Hey everyone, good morning, good morning. I know I am 3 minutes behind schedule. Please bear with me. It's a rainy day today. I just came back from sending my children to school, and so it's a little bit of an organization this morning. So, welcome to today's day 2 of how to get paid being spiritual. 3 secrets to succeeding as a spiritual entrepreneur. So welcome back to day 2. Welcome, welcome. I hope you've enjoyed day 1. So if you have any questions about day 1, please go ahead and type in your comments here and I'll get to your questions later on. If you have any questions, please do me a favor and type in question and then your question. All right. So if you have not watched day 1 of the workshop where I share with you my entire success plan on how I build my business from being a broken healer to now an award-winning international entrepreneur. So I invite you to go there. There are lots of gems there. Be prepared to take a cup of coffee, drink, and just sit back and relax and enjoy the workshop yesterday or even today. So let me just go through some of the pink elephants in the room before we so continue. All right, so it's going to last for about 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the time and what I have to say. If at any time, if you feel like you need to use the restroom, please go ahead and use the restroom. If you need get a drink, go ahead and get a drink. However, that being said, I sincerely invite you to switch off all devices, any distractions, get yourself comfy in your room and just be here with me. All right. And so I've talked to you about the question, and really, I am opening up my heart to you. There'll be no scripts because there's no scripts in life. You just do as how life shows you, and then you just take the next step. So yesterday we talked about my entire success plan, how to bust belief system, and why you need to be a woman of influence if you need to create change and impact and all the good stuff, right? So if you are enjoying yesterday, or if you're enjoying today's workshop, please go ahead and share the links with your friends and family. And yesterday I gave cool gifts away, and I have given those 3 gifts away already. Those people are already they have been notified by email, so that's really awesome. Today I have more gifts for you, and just stay tuned right till the end to get there, right? So once again, I want to remind you and inform you that I'm actually doing this live in my home, so you may hear birds chirping, my daughter screaming downstairs, and that's just life, right? You just got to do what you got to do as a mother. So and what did I? Oh, yes. So once again, if you didn't watch yesterday's show, and if you're wondering if I'm going to sell you anything, well, to be honest, no, I'm not going to sell you anything. You are not going to be able to buy anything from me today. However, that being said, I'm going to share with you my new program. It's called Own It, Be the Woman of Influence. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you have bags and bags full of certification. You have gone through like business plans, tried whatever it takes, then something is missing, and that's you. The missing puzzle is always you, right? I mean, you can have the best business plan in the world, but if you cannot influence, this is like if you are an introvert, right? I remember when I was a child, I wanted to hang out with cool kids, and so did everyone else wanted to hang out with the cool kids because it makes you feel good. And well, I did so the same, and I was actually looking very, I don't know, it's just not the way I'm looking right now. It was just like, in my own opinion, terrible. So I had fuzzy hair, like really short, like, I don't know, it's just weird, and big glasses on. And I really wanted to hang out with cool kids. And the cool kids didn't want to hang out with me, obviously, because they were just too cool for me. So I had to just settle for the not so cool kids. And guess what? The not so cool kids didn't want to hang out with me either. Can you relate? Like, I wasn't a nerd. I knew I wasn't a nerd, but yet even the nerds themselves thinks that they are too cool for me. So at the end, I had to just hang out by myself. I just had to do things on my own. It didn't feel good. I didn't look that part. And then somehow when I was about 15, something just changed. My hormone changed, and I was looking more like a normal kid. I had normal hair, and I had really Afro hair, so it's weird for a Chinese. And so that was when I found a group of people that actually accepted me. So, in our entrepreneurial world, it's the same. We are on a journey on our own, we think, but yet we need a community to be with us because we can't do it all by ourselves. And these people happens to be those who, well, I wouldn't say vices, but I got involved with drugs, alcoholic, and then when I was 16, I was asked to leave school. So that was the whole thing, right? From not cool to really cool and not famous in school, not, nobody knew me. From now, everybody knew me for the wrong reason. So anyway, but I knew deep down in my heart that I really wanted an interesting life. And I knew deep down in my heart that I was meant for something bigger in life, but I just couldn't like put a finger to it. And I remember when I was a child, I would take a book out, right? Like a notebook, like literally an empty book, and I would just hold my pen there. And like hoping to write something. I had so much to write. I could see myself like just writing and writing and writing and writing, but nothing came out. And I knew that there was a lot that will come out from me, that can come out from me. But I just hold my pen like this, and nothing came out. So fast forward to today, I've won a couple of awards, and I have a lot to say, and I have a lot to write as well. So if you are wondering what's your path, then I invite you to go back to the time when you were a child, when someone's asking you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Not what other people wanted you to do. I know when I was a child, I told my dad that I wanted to be a teacher, and he's like, what? Because at that time, being a teacher was really glamorous to me. You get to hold the chalk, and you get to be in control, and you get to write on the chalkboard. And so that was what I wanted to do. And so traditionally, you would think that would be the route for you, right? Or the route for you. But then I got involved with, like alcohol and drugs and all that kind of stuff. Then you cannot be a teacher, right? So now today I'm sitting here before you, teaching you what I've learned and what I've gone through. And I'm a teacher in my own right as well. And so are you. So let's not think traditional, because traditional is so 1936, right? So now we're living in the 21st century. So we got to keep up with the times, right? And so what I've learned from Bob Proctor, he said something, the moment you graduate, you are obsolete. And that's the ugly truth, right? The moment you graduate, the information that you have learned so far is already obsolete. And you find yourself redundant, you find yourself outdated, right? So as an entrepreneur, I know you have gifts, but think about this. If you don't continuously use your gifts, if you don't use it, don't practice it, like you can go get a certification to be a coach. You can go get a certification to be a healer. But so what, right? That doesn't make you a good healer or a coach or a consultant just because you have some kind of certification. It comes from practice and comes from continuously educating yourself. So today, actually, the next secret I want to talk to you is about a favorite topic for everybody, which is money. But before that, I want to just remind you that, education doesn't stop just because you end school. In fact, school's education is not really an education. It's probably just regurgitating whatever the thing on the textbook. It doesn't cause you to think. Like, I was like really a dropout from high school, and my grades were really terrible, and nobody would think that I would actually do well in class or do well in life, because that's what people put their grades on, right? And going back to what your parents wanted you to do, they probably what's that word for it? I'm looking for that word. They probably not confused you, but they probably cycled you. They probably conditioned you to be a lawyer, to be a doctor, and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I wasn't really exactly book smart, so I was told to go marry a rich man and go find a rich man, right? So, to be honest, I mean, that seemed easy, right? To just go get a man and just get married and whatever it is. So that was what I was conditioned. So what you are living out in your life right now, you have been conditioned by someone telling you that you needed to be this and that and this and that and this and that. So to become the woman of influence, or even to become that entrepreneur, or to become that leader in your business, you literally have to unlearn and let go of all the things that someone told you and that is sabotaging your success right now. Because obviously, if it's working, we wouldn't be here today, and you wouldn't be listening to me, or you wouldn't even be looking for a way out in life, right? You would already be successful, because if you knew how to do it, you would already have done it. So obviously there is a missing puzzle. So there is no shame in asking for help, because I ask for help all the time. Like right now, I have a live-in helper. That's the perks that comes with living in Asia. And so without her help, without her assistance in cooking for my children, cleaning my children, taking care of my children, and she's right now downstairs with my daughter Ariel, I wouldn't have this time and space to do this with you. So as a successful woman of influence and an entrepreneur, then you need to know what needs to be done and what needs to be outsourced to get this done. And I know, like, but I don't have the money. Then go figure out how to make money. You know, when I love to talk about money, because it used to be my nemesis. Like, I hated it. Like, just because you like know the concept of money doesn't mean you know how to make money. Wait, my hair is going a little bit off. Yeah. You know, just because you know how to make money, just because you know the concept of money doesn't mean you know how to make money. Remember what I told you earlier on about your surrounding influencing you. So if your parents are not like Donald Trump or whatever it is, you don't have the influence that you can make money. And if your surrounding is about lack, it's about scarcity, it's about money doesn't grow on trees, money needs to be hard earned, and that kind of thing, rich people are evil, then you would unconsciously adopt that belief system. And therefore, right now, you know, even if you've tried everything in your business, there is this block, and this is the block. It's just uncovering your unconscious mind, uncovering those belief system. Like Carl Jung said, until you make your unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you'll call it fate. I want you to really think about this. I want you to actually write this phrase down, because I use it all the time, and I remind myself. That's what Debbie Ford talks about, the shadow side. Everybody thinks the shadow side is the yucky side. It's like, oh, it's evil. But no, if you uncover your shadow side, you open a lock and you open a treasure within yourself, because it is in the unconscious that is sort of like controlling the way you think, right? So for example, like as a child, if you saw your father, I mean, that's a right, but yeah, it happens. If you saw your father mistreating your mother or whatever it is, you're going to grow up. You're going to condition yourself. You know what? I'm never going to marry a man like this. I'm never going to marry a man like this. I'm never going to marry a man like this. And guess what? You end up marrying a man like this, right? So, or you just go the other way, like you just become single because you don't want to be with men anymore. You don't trust men. And that's your unconscious thought, because you made that decision unconsciously and it went inside. It's like you gave yourself this story that did or did not, or may not have existed. It may or may not be true, but you gave yourself that story. You created that for yourself, and it went into the unconscious mind, right? And before the age of 7, your unconscious mind is like a fishbowl. It's literally open. It cannot reject any suggestions that you receive. Like now we can consciously say yes or no, right? But before the age of 7, your unconscious mind is open up. So, you know, it's so important what, you know, but then again, I believe that whatever, how good or how bad I am, or even how excellent of a mother I am, my children will probably have to go through therapy because of me. Because as mothers, you just do what you need to do, and if you knew better, you would have done better. If I mean, I'm doing the best that I can right now, and I'm working on myself, so I am doing my best, right? So same thing, you have to continuously work on yourself, right? Like my parents were always quarreling about money. You know, it's always about lack. My mom told me that money comes from men, and money doesn't grow on trees. this and that. And I actually believed it. That's why I went to become a stewardess, hoping to find a rich man, right? But anyway, that's besides the point. So what were the belief systems or what you have been told as a child regarding money? This is the time where you actually take time out to write them all out and figure them out. The process may not be easy. You may not figure it out just like this. However, as a woman of influence, you need to get this all sorted out, right? The number one thing to be a woman of influence is you cannot give a hoot about what other people think of you. Because if you care so much about what other people think of you, then you will not be able to get things done. You know, I was reading a book the other day, and there are basically 1/3 of the people really like you. That's good news, right? And 1/3 of the people don't really like you. Well, that's still quite a large number, right? I mean, how do you feel about that? And 1/3 of the people don't really give a shit. So, well, that's kind of like an equal equation. And so many times, and I've talked to a lot of women, and a lot of times they tell me they're so afraid of being visible. It's because of what other people think of them. They are so afraid of what other people will think of them. And let me just get this straight right at the beginning. If you don't get your money story sorted out, you won't have the courage to charge what you want, or let alone speak your rates. You will be like shivering. And so let me just review what's the next secret tomorrow is. It's actually on sales. So sales saved my life, and sales gave me my financial freedom. So I know sales may not be something that you are interested in, but think about this. Like, everybody's trying to sell everybody something. Like in this situation, yes, I don't deny that I want to sell you something, but I'm not selling you in a way that I am going to force you down the throat. In fact, I don't want to sell you something you don't want to buy. Right? So this program is only by application. You decide. I'm empowering you to make decisions on your own, that you want to step up and say, you know what, I'm going to be that woman of influence right now, and Elise is the one for me, and so I'm going to apply. So there is no hard selling. The moment you wake up, you're being sold to, like the billboards, the buses, and you go on Facebook, you're being sold to, right? So, but you need to. So here's the thing: nobody likes to be sold to, but people like to buy. So if this is a topic that you're interested in, then come back tomorrow again, right? I'm doing a little advertisement for myself tomorrow. So I'm going to be sharing you the acronym of sales as well. You're going to love it, so that you will fall in love with sales as well. So before even the sales thing can happen, you need to sort out your money, right? Because if you don't believe you deserve money, then no matter what sales you do, you're going to sabotage it. People are going to say no to you. You're going to be like resisting abundance. You're going to be resisting the money if you don't get this money piece down. So let us get this straight, and let us be really transparent about this. In my program, women are like very squeamish about talking about money, because it's not in our DNA to talk about money. It's like, you don't ask people how much they make. You don't talk about money. It's like sex, right? It's like, it's a taboo subject. But here's the thing: money touches so many areas of our lives you can't even imagine. It decides on your behalf. Trust me, right? It decides the car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, right? The laptop you buy, everything, the phone, the cell phone, everything. It is based on decision. It's based on money, right? You go to a restaurant, you see the menu. Let me ask you a question. You see the menu. Do you actually look at the other side to see how much it costs before you actually make a buying decision? I mean, how would you feel like if you just go in and you just order it? And now when I do my hair, I just go and tell the lady, you know what, I want to get some highlights, that I want to be blonde, and I want to get this. And honestly, I don't even know how much it costs. I just know that I can afford to pay for it. It's not going to be an astronomical amount of money. I just get it done because I desire to be in this situation, which is this look. So getting your money sorted out, it empowers you. So don't be naive to think that you don't need money. Let me tell you something. If you have big dreams, they come with a big price tag. They do. Like the house you live in now, no matter what kind of situation it is, at some point in time, it probably has a glorious days, right? Somebody had the idea to have this building built. And then they got to find the money to fund this idea, to have this building built. So, you know, I don't know what your situation is. It could be you are living in a very nice house. It could be living in a not very nice house. But whatever it is, there were glorious days for this building, and somebody had to fund it to make it happen so that you can live in it right now. So let's not talk about whether you're living in your dream house or not, whatever it is, right? So even if you are living in your condition right now, whatever your condition may be, let me remind you that somebody had to put money up front to build this up for you so that you can live in it right now, right? The car, yes, I know you bought it, but somebody had to put money up front at the beginning to build that car so that you can buy it. Somebody had to put money up front to build this laptop for me so that I can buy and use it to, you know, build my business. So somebody has to put money up front, right? For first, right? Even charity, like if you think like if you just go run a non-charity, like non-profit, a charity, you don't have to ask for money, then it's not, I don't know what kind of charity you're running, because yes, your time may be valuable, but what they really need is money. Like I've been donating money. I've been like, there's this social enterprise, it's called Milap. I think it's M-I-L-L-A-P or M-I-L-A-P. I loan money to women and to start their business. And I'm now on this autopilot thing. Like I don't draw the money out when somebody returns me the money, and it just goes out again to just reloan them the money. So if I am not well taken care of myself, if I don't have what I want to get, if I am not sufficient enough to share, then I can't do this for this person. She's in India or Sri Lanka, I don't know where she is. But because of my money, she's able to now start her business and then make money. So I'm not saying that I'm the great one, but I'm saying that money is involved so that she can then start, right? And so I make my own money, and then it's all with money. So you cannot be naive to think that, oh, I don't need the money. I don't need big dreams. Really? And you are going to be happy watching other people live their best life, other people who came from nowhere and then now they're suddenly this, you know, I'm doing it. Are you really okay? Like watching them and celebrating them? Are you really? I mean, you touch your heart and you ask yourself, right? Yesterday, I talked about the moment that was a breakthrough for me, was that when I realized that Oprah Winfrey and Donald Trump and Ellen DeGeneres and Richard Branson all have the same amount of time, and guess what? They're all children of God. So if they can achieve all these things, then I can too. You know, when I send my daughter to school, there's this little tiny road that we will wind in to take the shortcut. And the houses are gorgeous, magnificent, and they are huge. And if you know anything about real estate in Singapore is expensive. I'm saying not because it's of a lack mentality. It is expensive compared to the houses. You know, you can buy $100,000 house in America. I don't think you can even buy anything with $100,000 in Singapore, to be honest. So I'm comparing that, so that's expensive. And I'm like, wow, I wonder what they are doing to live there. And you know what? I told myself that's a wrong question to ask. If I so wanted to live there, the right question to ask is not why am I not living there? The question is how, and what can I do to get myself there? Right? So that's part of being a woman of influence. I do not victim myself and say, whoa, she did it and why can't I, and blah, blah, blah. If I so wanted it, I'll go figure it out. Okay, how can I do this and who can help me get there? And as a woman of influence, I want to be living in a nice environment. Why shouldn't you? Right? I mean, God doesn't want you to live in some shabby, like, rat hole, just saying, to prove that you really love him and to be in service of him. Look at the world, right? How Oprah, she's living nicely. She's really living in a good condition. Richard Branson has his own island. There are islands on sale, if you didn't know. There are islands on sale in America, if you didn't know. Like $500,000, you could buy an island. How do I know? Because I researched. And if you so say you want it, then do the research part and actually find out how much your dreams cost and how much money you need. Right? That's being part of a responsible adult and being successful women entrepreneur who is influential. You don't leave it to fate. You actually know the facts and figures. That's being in reality. That's staying in reality and not doing some hum hum kind of like thing. Okay, if hoo-ha and can get you what you want, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I will be in some Bahamas kind of island and or some Fiji island talking to you instead of in my living room, which that could happen, right? I'm going to LA soon. So you need to get into reality right now and see how much that money thing needs to happen. And then how many clients do you need to call in and work the sum out to make this happen for you? Because you know what? There are people who have done it before you and they will do it again and again. There is no secret formula in this, right? First, of course, yesterday we talked about making that decision. And then once you make that decision, you don't go back and forth, and then it's just wasting energy. You just decide, like, that's what you're going to do. And you just course correct, right? And so, I mean, in all full transparency, like, I'm doing this so that I can get, you can get to know me. And of course, at the same time, to talk about my program. And I would love more applications to come in. And if it's not happening, then I have to course correct and see what else can I do, right? I'm not going to take no for an answer. That's the difference between millionaires and middle-class people. Millionaires take no as a learning process, and they are okay with failures, and they will go figure a way out and course correct till they get what they desire. Middle class, on the other hand, the moment they hit rejection, oh gosh, it's meant to be, it's destined, I can't do this, and they give up and they spend the rest of their life thinking, you know what, I should have done this, if only I should have. And so you ask yourself, which position do you want to be in? The person who makes things happen, or you're going to be wishing and washing and hoping someday and one day, right? And let me tell you something. When you become the woman of influence, you do not need to go hunt for clients anymore. The clients would naturally come and be attracted to you, because for many reasons. I mean, they want to learn from you. They want to be like you, and you give them hope, and they know that you genuinely care about them. Okay? And so the next thing I want to talk about is you need to get out of survival mode. Don't be fooled, right? Like, oh, if I make that 5,000 or that 10,000, then all my problems will be solved. That's not true. You know, when you make more, you want to do more and you want to have more. Because that's just the way of life. Life wants you to have more. So with your current situation, you think 5,000 is a lot. But let me tell you, when you make 5,000, 5,000 is not enough to cover all your expenses and all the things you would desire. There's nothing wrong with spending money on desires, because you have worked hard for it and you deserve it. Right? Of course, how you spend your money is none of my business. But what I'm saying is you actually deserve to have that massage, that holiday trip, whatever that you so desire to, you say you want to do. All right, so get out of survival mode. Now you may think, when I become rich, I wouldn't be in survival mode. Let me tell you something. Rich people can be in survival mode too, because they have more expenses to upkeep. They got to upkeep their house, they got to upkeep their cars, their whatever it is. So if they lose everything, there's a lot to lose, right? And if you are in that survival mode, I've seen rich people do that. They are hoarding their money. They are so afraid they will lose their money. So don't think this, like, rich people are another pedigree of people, right? They all go through the same thing. They all have the same thoughts. Like, their expenses are way much higher than us. So now what I've learned is to keep my expenses really, really low. And when I was struggling, I actually like to spend money to compensate on the lost feeling. But now, you know what? I ask myself, is this absolutely necessary or not? Because there is a difference between making money and acquiring money. And when I know how to make money, trust me, I know how to make money. And I know how to lose money as well, because I don't know how to keep the money. So after my episode last year, I have learned, this is the biggest revelation for me. And I think I had to go through to learn this. You know, when you're going through the situation, you're thinking, oh my God, why am I even in this? But how many times have you gone through or past the situation and you look back and say, oh my God, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me? And let me tell you, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because I've learned this principle and I'm going to be sharing with you. Making money is easy. Making money is not the same as acquiring wealth, right? Acquiring wealth requires patience, just like the gestation period of a baby, a gestation period of the plant. It requires time and it requires patience. That's what I've learned, and that's another story, and that's another skill that we need to master. But first, let's start with mastering how to make money before you can learn to acquire money. So if you want to be wealthy, then you got to think like wealthy people. Let me tell you something. Wealthy people know exactly where the money goes to. It's, you think wealthy people are just frivolous. They spend money like water. Yeah, in a certain sense they do, but they know exactly where their money goes. Like, I have a friend, she's a millionaire. She drives a Ferrari, right? And I'm so shocked, like, to see her not penny pinch. Like, if there's a good deal, she would go for it. Like, her friend was selling her this facial thing at 40 something dollars, right? And then she realized that if you join as a member, you actually pay $30. And so she asked, why didn't you tell me? It's like, oh, I thought you were not interested, but well, I'm willing to be the member just to, why should I pay $30? Why should I pay 40 when I can pay 30? So they know, they're very smart with their money. That's not to say they're being cheap, right? They're still willing to spend. So, it's not to say like you only buy things during the sale period. You're just telling your unconscious mind that I'm not worth it. I can only afford discounted items. So when you walk into a shop and there happens to be a sale, fine, it's your blessing, it's your bonus. Be grateful, go buy it, but don't wait till like, oh, it's sale time, and then that's penny pinching, and that's telling your unconscious mind that you don't deserve it, right? So if you're running a business, if you don't want people to penny pinch with you, then be prepared not to penny pinch with other people. If you want people to pay you your rates, then be prepared to pay people their rates. If you cannot afford it right now, then don't tell yourself I can't afford it. Just tell yourself the time is not right now yet, because you probably don't want to do whatever it takes right now for whatever reason. Time's not right. Then don't tell yourself like I cannot afford it. Just say the time is not right now yet, but I will do it one day. So at least you don't sabotage yourself. At least you don't add more oil to your unconscious mind, so to speak, right? So, I mean, for me right now, even if I walk into a shop, it's like $200. I could totally afford it, but I don't feel like it's value for that money. I don't buy it. I don't force myself to buy it to show face, or I don't do it. I simply don't do it. I make sure I get back my ROI. I make sure this and that. So I would wear something like this. It's like $20, but it's comfortable. I will wear it on a daily basis and I'll get my ROI back versus, I have expensive clothes, right? Like that's saved for nice occasion. I do have a variety, but on the day-to-day basis, I just happen to like these affordable and comfy clothes, right? So just because you have the money doesn't mean that you have to spend it. That's just being smart with money. So I've also learned, as a woman of influence, you need to be smart with money. You need to learn how to manage money as well, because if God gave you $1 and you can't manage it, why would he give you more? So whatever money that you're having right now in your bank account, learn to manage it, because if you can't manage what you have, you wouldn't be given more. Okay, so a lot of times I realize also, having more money means more responsibility, and people don't want that responsibility, so therefore unconsciously they are pushing money away as well. Okay, so I'm going to stop for a while here, and I'm going to go to the chat box. I want to see if you have any comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I just want to quickly pop by there. Oh, great, we have comments. I love comments, so keep them coming in. That sounds like someone who has given up for the moment. What do you mean? I don't know. Hey, good morning, Patricia. What a lovely rainy morning in the morning. Yeah, it's true, it's true. So I want you to continue with the comments and let me know what is your biggest takeaway so far. And if you have attended yesterday's session, I also want to know what is your biggest takeaway from yesterday's call, and how would this new revelation change the way you how would it change the way you see life and do life? Alrighty, so right now, what shall we do? I would love for Patricia to come online right now because yesterday I'm supposed to interview her and have her like share with you some nuggets. Unfortunately, technologies as such, I'm not a very high tech person, but enough to survive. So that's a skill that I had to learn when I wanted to build my business. And I would invite you, Patricia, can you just click on the link that I send you and just come online? So while waiting for her, let me know what's your money story. Let me see. Okay, I'm still waiting for her to come online. In the meantime, let me send her an email. So, alrighty, so I'm gonna hop on back to my page. To be with you. Patricia, did you manage to get the link? Oh, that was in reference to someone saying they don't need or want dreams money. Yep. It's true.
Hi.
They're not living in reality. So, hey, I found you. Hey.
Sorry. Technology.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was just typing a question when you said you were gonna call me. I was like, oops.
What question did you have?
It was about the unconscious mind. You said that hang on. Okay. Yeah, my question was actually just like if something has been put into our unconscious mind before the age of 7, how do we become aware of it and then change it?
Well, I don't think it's really important to go discover and uncover what goes into your unconscious mind at the age of 7 because it will show up right now, right? It will show up right now. So the key is I don't teach people to go back to the past and live from and through the past. You can decide right now. Like most people, they either live in the past or they live in the future, right? The key is we have to live in the now. So I spent years on studying in past life regression, thinking that I did something so bad in the last life. But now, Patricia, as time is accelerating so quickly, like gosh, now it's February, coming March, we're going to be in LA very soon, right? So time is accelerating so quickly. So therefore, you can change everything in the now. That's instant manifestation. Like many people think you think a thought and shit, something happened, right? So that's instant manifestation. Same thing, you can clear your karma instantly as well. There is no such thing as karma. To me, I digress a little bit. It's just cause and effect, and karma isn't going to come back and bite you. It's not going to come and haunt you for the next generations. In the past, where time is much slower, then it took like maybe 3 life cycles to learn one lesson. But now, as you know, time has accelerated. We may we may have 3 lessons in one life cycle, right? It's ridiculous. So that's how fast time is moving, and that's how evolution is working. So therefore, going back to your question, I don't think it's even necessary to go back and see what's happening in your childhood. You can actually remember, right? If the memory is coming up for you, that's the trigger point. That's something you work around it, right? So don't be so, I'm just saying that your unconscious thoughts were being conditioned to you, for you when you were 7. So that's how you are, why living the way you're living right now. As a woman of influence, as a successful woman taking our power back, then you have the power to change it right now. If it's not working out for you, gosh, I mean, your unconscious mind could be dated like maybe two weeks ago, right? You don't know what's taking and untaking because your eyes are just absorbing stuff. So right now, you just have to be in that space with you and yourself and you and your unconscious mind to really write everything down. And just that's why I love writing so much, because thinking you don't see. Thinking you just, there are 60,000 thoughts a day, you just think and think and think and think and think. But when you actually write it down, then you can't really deny the fact that it is there written in ink and on paper. So that's how you actually can change it. And then what you do with the information, it's really your choice right now. You can either sit and like, oh, I don't want to do anything about this. Or you can actually, okay, if this is the way, then maybe I need another way. And you know what's most painful? It's actually acknowledging that maybe, oh man, I'm a bitch. Oh, damn it. Like, you know, we don't want to see our other self. We only want to accept the good side of us. But maybe, hey, we are irresponsible. Hey, maybe we are not what we say, who we think we are. And if you can accept that side of you, then you can accept yourself 100%, and not only the good side. That's where the shadow side comes in, right? People are just avoiding the shadow side, but that's part of you. How can you reject that side? Because it's you. So anyway, my intention for bringing you here is to really want to ask you what you do. Well, why don't you tell us what you do?
Okay. The short description is that I'm a storyteller. So I help people to tell their personal stories, because each of us have a personal journey getting to where we are today. And most of the times when I'm speaking to people and I'm writing their story, it's actually very inspirational. But many times these people, they don't think it is inspirational. So what I do is I write it in a way where it comes out totally different from how they view their own story to be. So in that sense, I'm helping them to tell their personal story, but yet transform it into part of their branding, their image. Yeah. So that's why I call myself a storyteller.
Cool. And so Patricia is one of my change makers in the Change Makers program, and she's also a mother, and she's going after it, like, you know, she's going after her dreams. So why don't you share with us, like, has being a mother stopped you from living your dreams?
Well, before I joined the Change Makers program, I have to say that my idea of living my life and my purpose was just to be a mom. But there was always this how do you say it, nagging thought in the back of my mind that there's something more for me to do than just being a mom. And I guess you can say that, I mean, at that point, I did not know what was going on because I was not in touch with God and spirituality and all that stuff. And now I realize that it was actually my soul telling me that I have a bigger purpose in life than just being mom to my 2 kids. So when I started, praying to God and asking him for guidance and support, then that's when I realized that I do not just only have to be a mom. I can be mom and do more things in my life. And so that's what I did. I decided to go listen to what my soul is calling me to do and just go for it.
Was it scary?
Yes, extremely, because I was kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. And obviously, when you're out of your comfort zone, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? What's going to happen? Am I going to fail? Who will hire me? Will this work out? All these questions will come. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So what's your personal process? Now you're on the other side, you're like still intact, right? Like nothing, like you're still alive, right? But at that point, was that fear so real?
Definitely, yeah. I guess maybe because well, like you said, part of it is the unconscious mind. So I wasn't really aware that it was just my unconscious mind trying to well, in that sense, protect me from the unknown. So obviously, all these fears just come. So every time I try to take a step forward, I start asking myself, who am I to be this person? Who am I to do this? Who am I to help other people? So that was real. It was really real. Yeah.
So was this the first time in your life that you have encountered this fear?
I would say no, but because this was kind of like accepting the fact that I do not only just have to be mom, I can be more than just mom. So it was something totally new to me because I had bought into the story that I can only be a mother and that is all I can do in my whole life.
Right. So
Yeah.
what's that moment where you like, okay, screw the fear, I'm gonna do it anyway? So what was that shift? What shifted for you in your mind to make
I guess I was, if you can say, like yesterday you were saying that I hit rock bottom, literally rock bottom. So I was in the shower and I was crying and I was just desperate. So yeah, that's how I would describe the whole thing. I was just desperate.
Okay. So in the moment of desperation, what decision did you make then?
I decided that I did not want to be in that desperate position anymore, and that I have to do something for myself, by myself. So I could not wait for somebody to come in. Oh, it's okay, Patricia, I will save you. I'll help you out of this. I'll give you the solution and you go do it. So I decided to find the solution and work on it by myself.
So how long did it take for you to, so how long were you in that desperate mode?
I guess probably about 3 or 4 days.
You're lucky.
You can really say that it was really rock bottom. If there was a bottom to the rock bottom, I was probably below that as well, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. Like I made the decision because I was rock bottom as well. And if you didn't reach rock bottom, can I ask you a question really bluntly? Would you have made the decision?
I would say no.
Why not?
I would probably think, oh, it's okay. You know, I've survived, so I will continue surviving, which was what I was doing actually, just surviving, not really living.
So what's the definition of your survival? I mean, like you said, you're just surviving. How did life look like for you when you were just surviving?
It was kind of like, okay, I have no problems with like, for example, food or clothes or a shelter because it's all provided for me. And so I didn't have to worry about, oh, tomorrow I'm going to be homeless, or tomorrow there's no food on the table, there's nothing to feed my kids with. But yet it wasn't fulfilling, because if, let's say, my kids say, oh, mommy, I would like to go and take like piano lessons for the next 3 months, I did not have the money to sign them up for these piano lessons, for example. Or if they say, oh, mommy, we want to go to Italy for a holiday, I didn't have that money to straight away say, yes, let's buy the plane tickets and go. So that wasn't living, that was just surviving. So all my basic needs were met,
right,
but not, you know, living. Yeah.
So how did that make you feel if and when your kid tells you like, mom, I want to do this, and then like, did you tell them the truth? Like, actually, I don't have the money.
I did not tell them that, just because I did not want to give them a money story. Because I knew I had my own money story. And so I said, oh, okay, you know, mommy, we'll see how we can do that. But right now we cannot go because of some reason, like, you know, papa has a meeting or mommy has a meeting, but we will plan to go. So we can start planning right now. So we do talk about planning to go, but there isn't like a definite date of like, okay, we are going on June from this date to this date and we're buying the tickets. So I kind of give it a sense of like anticipation rather than saying I do not have the money.
Right. But
yeah, I just didn't want to create any more unconscious stories for them.
right. So how does that make you feel to say that to your child? Did that feel good?
I felt like I failed as a mother because I could not give them a life. So that was like, well, I'm supposed to be mom and I'm supposed to be giving my kids options and opportunities, and yet I cannot. I had done a crappy job. I felt shitty, like, yeah, that's how I felt.
Like right now, you have made the decision and you have crossed over to one step on the other side. I mean, there's so many other steps to take, but at least you have gotten yourself out of the situation. As you look back, how do you feel right now?
I realized that I was just giving excuses to myself because of the fear, because I feared that, if I said I'm going to pursue my dreams and I'm going to do what I want to do, I will look like I'm a bad mother. I'm abandoning my kids, or I'm not how do you say it? Being responsible, to taking care of my family in that sense. So it was all these stories that I was telling myself that stopped me from giving myself a chance and giving it a go. Yeah.
Right. So now that you have given yourself a chance and it's not that bad, what would you say to the other side of that self, like right now? Because there are a lot of women who are now in the other side, and I mean now at this side, how do you feel right now?
I feel very happy, and I feel that, I mean, there's still a lot of unknown, but now because I have God in my life, I know that He's guiding me, and like you said yesterday, He has a divine plan and there's divine timing. So I trust that everything will happen in His time, as long as I move my ass and get my stuff done while the divine timing comes.
Right.
So I would say to my past before, that, there is this unknown fear which we cannot control, and that is what I was living in. But now there is a fear, but it's a, how do you say, it's a good kind of fear, in the sense that it will prove that God has your back. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Right. And so since you talked about money, and this today's workshop is really about money, do you think money is important?
Of course. I mean, you need money for everything. Even our internet needs money to pay it.
Yeah. Right. So I just would love for you to just briefly talk about your time working with me in the Changemaker. It's not a long time, it's actually quite brief. What's your experience in the program and working with me?
Well, I would say that it's really transformational. So looking back, I can say that I'm definitely like really, really totally different from when I first contacted you in, early January? Yeah. And even then, at the moment when I contacted you, I was really different from when I had my breakdown, which was in December. So it has really transformed me. And what I love about this program is that you don't buy into my stories and you don't take any excuses. And I have to do the work. So work, I do not move. So I cannot say, oh, it's okay, Elise will come and rescue me, and Elise will do the work for me, and Elise will give me this, look everything out for me. So what you have actually just shown me that there is another way, and then it's up to me whether I want to take it or not. So if I do not take it, there is no change in me. So I have to make the choice and say, yes, this is what I will do, and I do it. So I'm a natural go-getter. Even all my friends, they tell me, you're not somebody to sit there and do nothing. So actually, a lot of them were very surprised that, for the past few years, I've just been mom and not doing anything else, because they all tell me, you're a go-getter, you get things done. And so when you tell me, okay, this is a choice, it's up to you whether you want to take it or not, I'm like, okay, yes, I'm going to give it a go. So at least if it does not work out, I can say, I gave it a go, and then now I'm going to find out why it did not work out and change that again. Yeah.
So I know you have this thing about what other people think of you. Do you care about what people think of you right now? Do you think?
At this very moment, I don't think so. Yeah, but before that, I had a lot of stories in my mind, like, oh, you know, if I want to do a video, it has to be in this environment. I need to put on these clothes and my hair has to be in this way. Or if I go meet someone, I must dress in a certain way. I must meet them at a certain place. So it was all these ideas and thoughts in my mind that I was really setting myself up to fail even before I had done something.
Interesting, right?
Yeah. So now that I'm aware of it, I'm kind of like, okay, I don't really care. I'm just gonna go out and get it done, because before it was preventing me from closing my sales. So I was like, I'm afraid they're gonna think that I'm pushy or I'm needy or I'm desperate. And so that was why I was afraid to call up and say, hey, so what's your decision? I need a decision like today. And if you're okay with it, let's pay the deposit and let's get on the call and let's do this now.
Right.
So yeah, when I realized that was actually stopping me from closing the sales, I went, wow, like just because of one thought, it's preventing me from getting the money. So I'm like, but I need the money now, you know? So like, if not, why am I in business? I'm offering my services and nobody's buying it. So I went, okay, screw this. I'm just going to go out. And I started messaging people and calling them, and yep, I got the money in.
Like what a woman of influence needs to do. So if there are anybody thinking like, why should I work with Elise? Or they're just thinking, what would your advice be?
I would say do it. Elise is a very, very, I would say, understanding and gentle coach, but she doesn't take your nonsense as well. And if you are somebody who really wants to kind of change your beliefs, that, you know, your own beliefs that's stopping you, then you should work with Elise. I like Elise's approach because she's very, very frank. And I appreciate honesty more than telling me, no, it's okay, you can do it, you can try again. Because to me, being honest means that you really care about me and you really would like to see me succeed because you believe in me. And that is what honesty is about. Whereas if somebody comes along and says, no, it's okay, try again, you will do it the next time, that is not real caring in my sense. Because if the other person was in your position, I'm sure they wouldn't want to keep being in that desperate, you know, position that you're in. They would want to get out of it. So what I love about working with you, Elise, is that you are very gentle. You hold the space for me to come to my realization and to make the change, but yet you're also very frank. You're honest with me. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for that, for promoting me on my behalf. But
I really love you. I really, really love you. It's true. I appreciate all that you have done for me. It's so wonderful.
Thank you. So I know we have a gift today, and I know Patricia also is helping people write their about page, and therefore I pulled her hand and said, you know, you gotta do this for me. So I'm not gonna make her do too many, but let's just say 3. She will make over your not web page, but your about page, because your about page will determine the status that you're in. Like, are you a woman of influence? Like, are you media worthy? Like Patricia is good at that. Are you media worthy? Are you able to attract attention? Is your story compelling enough? You know, I had this woman from Oklahoma. She wrote to me and she just told me a story. She said, I read your story and she cried. So are you having that connection? So I have twisted her hand and asked her to gift the audience today 3 gifts. And so now it's 9:31 our time. So as a woman of influence, as a successful woman, you know what you want, you go for it. You have 1 hour to claim your gift. So you write to you write to her email. What's your email you want to give?
Patricia, Patricia at gmail.com.
Right. So you write to her at Patricia, well, I guess you just type in later on in the comment box.
Sure.
Go claim your gift from her. She's going to select out of the people. I mean, if there are 3, then just 3. If there are 4, then you have to select. Like, why you think you need her help. to what, oh, I wouldn't say why you deserve this, but I'm just saying why you should be the one who is getting this this gift. So once again, you know, your about page is a page that's most important on your website, and Patricia is willing to do this for you on my behalf.
Can I just add in why I can make it media savvy for them?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, because my experience is in 20 years of editorial. So I used to write for magazines and websites, and I wrote about brands and services, and I also interviewed personalities here in Singapore, as well as I interviewed a lot of international DJs as well. So I love telling I love these interviews because I do not do like the traditional, oh, you know, this DJ grew up here and he was influenced by this music. No, I actually bring their personal influence, their personal story. So I talk about what influenced them, and yeah, so more of the personal stuff rather than just the technical. He has this qualifications, he has that certification, he has that skill. So that is why I can make it media savvy in that sense. So if a magazine comes and says, I want to write about you, you can just say, okay, here's my about page info, and use whatever you have there. If you need more, talk to me.
Yeah, cool. That's so awesome. And of course, if you're not selected, I know she has a flash sale going on. She will tell you all about that. If you are not selected by her, it's really super affordable. And I think this is something that you need to invest in your business. It's just really a small amount. So she's going to tell you all that. Well, let me tell you, it's just only like, what, $100? It's super affordable. So, but what's the value of this page?
It's usually $300.
Right? But frankly, I think the value of this entire thing, it's at least $5,000, because if you are going to attract media, and if media wants to cover you, then it's just really the value in it is $5,000, but the usual price for this is $300. I think you need to raise your rates very soon.
Okay, I think I should.
So that's what we do, helping people raise rates when they are ready. So yeah. All right.
Thank you.
So last piece of advice you have for women in general who are just sitting on the fence, like, you know, should I or should I not? What's the one biggest advice you have for them?
To quote Nike, just do it, because you actually have more power in you than you think you do.
So I mean, I want to just ask, so what happens if these women like you, like, oh my God, why me, who me, and what's your process of busting why me and who me?
Well, just ask yourself, do you still want to live this life 5 years down the road? And if your answer is yes, then keep doing what you're doing. If your answer is no, then move your ass and get something done. Get out of that situation. And the only person who can do that is you. You take the decision for that.
Cool.
So if 5 years down the road you do not want to live this life, do something about it.
Cool, cool. So tell us where we can find you on the internet realm.
Okay, my Facebook page is / Patricia Storyteller. I think I'll just write the links down in the comment later. Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Elise. I love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty. Well, did you enjoy that session? Well, I'm bringing up women like just you and me. They're not celebrities in any shape, size, or form, but they are just normal women like us, living extraordinary lives, wanting to live a legendary life, because that's possible. So whatever your situation is right now that you think it's like, oh my God, I can't do this, you can do this, because we're all given the same equal opportunities. Success is not easy, but yet success is given. The opportunity of success is given to every single one of us, and we have to grab it. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna hop on back to the chat box and just see if there are any questions. And you know, in the meantime, so go ahead and type in your questions if you have any questions for me right now, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, so in the meantime, I want to talk about asking for the money, because if you are, if you are in business, then You need to learn to ask for the money without feeling guilty or just like, oh, I remember the first time I was on a discovery call with a live person and like with the potential to buy, that kind of like call, it really scared the crap out of me, to be honest. Like I would be talking about the program, be talking about them, and then when it came to the money part, I would like there was this worm in my tummy just going tumbling and tumbling, and I would break into cold sweat. It was just so uncomfortable because I never need. It's like if you're an employee, there was never a need to ask for the money, right? The money just shows up in your bank religiously on a certain date. So there was no need to ask for the money, right? And now you have to ask for the money from a stranger, and like, oh my God, it's like, this is killing me, So I had to learn that this wasn't going to be working out for me because I run a business and I needed to make money, and otherwise my business is losing money and it's not functional and it's, I don't know, and can't pay my bills and all the good stuff, right? So you have to be comfortable with the fact that you have to at some point ask for the money. If you are so shy in asking for the money, then don't cry and don't whine and complain. At the end of the day, why can't you live your best life, right? Of course, when you're asking for the money, you have to come from a space where it's not about you, it's about helping the other person, right? I like to think about this like this. We go to a restaurant, we get food, and we pay for the services, and we pay for the food. That's it. Simple. There is no one on this planet that's going to debate about this process. No one. So why should you debate in your sales process and asking for the money? The only reason why you're squeamish about this is you're afraid of what other people think of you, or you may not be confident in what you deliver, and you do not want responsibility. Okay, this is what I have realized for myself. Like if I have clients, means I have to be responsible for them. And does that mean that they are my boss? Well, if you are a coach and a healer, and like what Patricia said, and if you can't speak your truth, then you are really not in service, right? I am paid to speak my truth so that they can have their own transformation. I'm paid to speak what I see in their life. So I need to work on myself to constantly remove those emotional triggers so that I can be really, not like Judge Judy, right? But really see your client's point of view without an emotional attachment for it and to it. That's why you're paid the big bucks, all right? So I learned to ask for the money without being needy or guilty. And it's about providing that exchange. They need something from you. You have the solution to their problem. And in exchange, they give you the money that you deserve. And you ask, and whatever sum that you ask for it, right? And so it's a win-win situation. However, if your energy, it's all about, I want to close the sale, it's all about me, it's my survival, then the other person is going to feel it. And of course, they are not going to buy into it, and they're not going to hire you. So when you are in contact with your client, you cannot make the client feel like it's all about you. You cannot make the client feel like you're just after the money. That is when you feel salesy and slimy. So what I suggest for you to do is to just focus on the person. You are in business, yes, to make money, but you are not in business for yourself. You are in business to transform lives. So if you make it all about you, then you will have a situation because it's like, oh, it's all about me, right? Same thing in my program, the Women of Influence. That's how you influence people to make the decision on their own, and then you empower them. Right? I never sell my clients anything they don't want to buy. I offer them what I have to offer, and I give them my good advice, my good judgment, like whatever that my judgment may be, and I tell them honestly whether I can or I cannot do it, right? So that way I live with integrity, and I don't serve nightmare clients as well. Of course, we have all done it, right? I mean, I have served nightmare clients before, quote and unquote, not judging them, but you know what I mean by nightmare clients, because I needed the money. I betrayed myself. So I am not saying that there's nothing wrong, anything wrong, or something wrong, or whatever with nightmare clients. You do your own good judgment. But I remember it was just so horrible I mean, she has her own situation, and I really closed the sale because I wanted the money. But at the end, every time she scheduled a call, I would pull my hair out, and to a point where I think I cannot betray myself anymore. I told her this. I think I can't work with you anymore. I'm not the right one for you. And so I refunded her some of the money that I think she deserves to get after all the trauma that she has caused me. But just kidding. But well, I did give her a part of the refund because I don't want to work with her anymore. And that's the only reason why I will refund somebody. Otherwise, there is no refunds at all. Right now, I make sure I talk to everyone and make sure that they are ready for it before I say also yes to them coming into the program. That's being smart, right? You don't want to have refunds all the time in your business. That's just not going to be feasible, right? This hair thing, it's just driving me nuts, but never mind. So yeah, I want you to learn to ask for the money. How you practice this is, is find somebody who is on the same wavelength as you, accountability partner, and therefore hang out in a community of like-minded women is so important because they don't judge you. They know exactly what you're going through. They're not going to think that you are crazy, and they will be willing to practice with you and give you that good advice and give you that good feedback because they only want the best for you. That's the kind of community that you want to be in, and not some like fake community, like everything is okay, like the Hollywood scene, right? You want people who tell you the truth. And of course, on your side, you have to make sure you can take the truth. You have to understand that nobody's really trying out to get you. People don't really care. People are so involved with themselves. But if you're in a community of sisterhood that they really want the best for you, then you can be yourself and trust that they give you the best advice, right? Of course, with a good mentor. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this, the women of influence, owning it, because at the end of the day, we have to own our power. We have to own who we are. We have to learn to make decisions on our own and for ourselves, because nobody's going to do that. Nobody knows you better than you. So through this 6 months program, you are going to learn who you really are and who you want to be and what you need to do to be that woman of influence. Honestly, think about this. Without influence, there is no impact. There is no that you can't inspire anyone, and let alone you can't make any income. You need to learn to inspire. You need to learn how to influence people, right, in a good way. Think about this, right? I mean, if Oprah wasn't a woman of influence, would she be who she is today? And so think about how she got to where she is. Even Marie Forleo, right? Yes, she made millions, but nobody's focusing on her making millions because she's creating so much impact in the world, right? Oprah is a billionaire. I think she's a billionaire, but nobody's focusing on, like, she doesn't deserve it. She deserves it because she's bringing in so much value to the world. So I ask you, like, I invite you to think about, how do you want to inspire the world? And as a result, you will be paid, and you need to be that woman of influence. Otherwise, nobody's going to be listening to you. Nobody wants to listen to you, right? So I really highly invite you to just apply for this program. It doesn't matter whether you have the money or not. I'm sure you have it. You are just not aware of it yet. And right now, if you decide, I hired my coach when I had $50 in my bank account. And then when I made the decision, the money showed up, and I continuously worked on myself, and that's where I am today, hosting 16,000 members from around the world. And I want that for you as well, right? Why wouldn't you want to be hosting your ideal clients right at your own backyard, right? Why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to be a woman of influence in your own community? Why wouldn't you want to do that? Why would you want to, like, live in the dark right now, having so many gifts, so much gifts, and you've got this big heart you want to share with the world? You have to step up and be visible. And this includes being, knowing how to take negative comments, how to take care of yourself, and becoming that woman of influence. So I want you to go think about a woman of influence that you really look up to, right? And know that that's possible for you too. And know that their influence and their community and whatever that they have achieved today didn't come overnight. They build it over time. It's like acquiring wealth. You need to have patience. The more you develop yourself, the easier life will be for you, right? So if you're not closing that sale, ask yourself, maybe the client doesn't trust you, right? Or the client doesn't think that you can help them. If you're not living an interesting life enough for yourself, then who are you to go inspire and impact the world? So we start from you. We start from your own influence. You need to learn how to influence yourself, right? Like today I woke up, I know my waist is a little bit tinier. I feel good about myself. My face is a bit smaller. I influenced myself to get out there, run and jog consecutively for 6 days right now. I had to learn to influence myself in that department, right? I mean, when you are your own boss, when you run your own company, there's nobody's going to breathe down your neck and say, you do this, you do this, you do this. You need to take responsibility. The first thing you need to do is take responsibility for your life right now. Nobody has created that. We don't blame people. Successful people don't blame people. Women of influence don't blame other people. They take responsibility in their life and then go create another situation, another reality that they want to live in. All right, so this is the number one thing you need to learn. Stop complaining. Stop complaining. God is giving you all the tools and equal opportunities. You just need to grab them. Richard Branson just said, paraphrase, right? He said, if somebody gave you an opportunity and you don't know what to do, and you don't know if you can do it or not, just say yes and then figure it out later. I don't think that's his exact words, but that's what he means. If someone gives you an opportunity, say yes and then figure out later how you're going to do it. So if you want to be a woman of influence, then you have to change your mindset and think like a millionaire. I am very sure at some point in time, you would want to be a millionaire. And in our industry, it is possible to be a millionaire in 3 years, depending on how fast or how slow you want to go, right? But in 3 years, you can be. In the past, generally, typically, it takes about 10 years for someone to become a millionaire. But now, time has accelerated. Information is abundant out there. We have the internet to leverage on and all the good stuff. So there's actually no reason why you can't. So let's get you started right away, right? The course starts March the 9th, and I would so invite you to just apply. Ask yourself 2 questions. If money is not an issue, would you do this? Would you want to be a woman of influence? Number 2 is, am I the coach for you? Am I the mentor for you? If 2 questions are yes, then I highly invite you to apply. Go ahead and click the link www.elise-n.com/v2/own-it. I'm going to be typing in and I'm going to be sending you an email with that as well. So, I sincerely invite you to think about this, what it means for you to be a woman of influence, how that will change your life, how that would change your legacy, how that would change your income, right? And live the rich life. You can live the rich life and be spiritual. There's nothing wrong with it. It is absolutely your birthright. So let's start from the beginning, building you up from there. It's a 6-month course, and plus I'm giving you a bonus, which is a 2 days bonus in San Francisco. That's why I say two days of a live event in San Francisco, and I'm covering you 1 night for hotel stay because I want to give that to you because I love you so much. All right, so I want to go to the live chat and see if there are any questions regarding making money and asking for the money. You know, there are so many ways to make money. This is just one of the ways to make money. Let me tell you this. But when you have money, you can use that to invest in more money. That's right. Thank you, Amanda. When you have money, you can reinvest it, and money really gives you freedom. Money gives you choices in life, right? Ask yourself the choices that you make on a daily basis. The choices that you make on a daily basis, is it made out of money? Learn to make decisions without the influence of money. Okay? If we didn't have influence, we wouldn't have advancements. That's right. You know something about accountability? I have learned that I have joined masterminds that are paid and not paid. what I realized is a paid mastermind is more effective than a non-paid mastermind because there is no skin in the game. Let me tell you this. The women who are paying to be in the Changemakers program, they are holding each other accountable and not letting each other slip because they have a skin in the game. Let me tell you this is for the fact. I am part of like non-paid account mastermind groups as well. It's like people just fizzle off. They're so busy because there's no skin in the game. That's the reality. I don't know how that works out, but let me tell you this. It's not about the money, but because there's skin in the game, and so people are more committed. You want committed people. If I'm not paying for it, why should I be committed? Why should I do this? You know, and I want to hang out with people who are really committed to their dreams, right? Who are willing to pay and invest for it. That's what I feel. Okay, and if your partner is not investing it, they won't be interested in you. I mean, Patricia, what do you think? I mean, you are a part of like sort of a paid mastermind. Do you feel like you would be so involved if you didn't actually pay for it and your sisters didn't pay for it? Would you be so committed? Right? I mean, sometimes it is about the money. It's not about the money, but the money gives you that commitment because I want that ROI back. That's what I feel. Okay. So Amanda says, I've been walking at least 40 minutes for 3 days. Whoa, was that inspired by me, Amanda? I've been walking for at least 40 minutes now, and now 3 days in a row, and the other part I made money. Oh man. Oh, I'm so happy to hear this, Amanda. Is that inspired by me? I'm taking credit for this. But anyway, I'm really so happy. I mean, you've been following me for a while. I've been watching you for a while right now, and really your time is right now. How do you feel about this, Amanda, since you applied for the Women of Influence? Do you feel a shift? And like me coming to meet me in LA and coming to meet the other change makers and other spiritual entrepreneurs, was there a shift in your energy, Amanda? Let me know. She's like, Amanda never misses an episode unless there is Wi-Fi connection problem or unless I don't show up for the show. But she's always there. She's always there. You want people like that around you to work with and to inspire and transform their lives. And oh really? Inspired by me? That's so awesome. So where's my Patricia? I wanted her to like just quickly say something about a paid mastermind and a non-paid mastermind, because it does make a difference. You go try it out yourself. Whatever that I have taught you, I encourage you not to trust it, not to believe it, but to test it out on your own. Because you can read a book and the book expands your mind. It shows you what is possible, but until you take action, it's not going to become your reality. I know this because I've been reading for 3 years since I went to LA to rewire my brain for success. I've been reading and reading and reading, but nothing changed until I took radical action, until I'm like, you know what, screw it, that's it, I'm just going to go for it. Patricia was lucky. She took 3 to 4 days to figure out, like, in the desperation mode. Some people are not so lucky, like myself. I was in it for 3 years and 10 years in that to actually figure out, like, hey, this is it. I can actually do more in life, right? And so I read a lot, but it didn't change me. I was so book smart. I could tell you exactly the mindset, this. It's like I could memorize everything and I could just, making money is like this, but I had no experience. So don't confuse knowledge and experience. Knowledge is not experience. Knowledge is like reading a book. It expands your mind, but in order for you to experience it and walk your talk, then you actually have to go through it yourself. Like for me, I have went through everything and I walk my talk. That's why I don't buy Patricia's BS, belief system and bullshit, literally. I don't buy your story when you tell me you don't have the money. When someone tells me they don't have the money, it's one of 2 reasons. Really, it's literally these 2 reasons. Number one, they don't really believe in you, okay? They don't really get what you're trying to do, or they don't think you're the one for them. Number 2, and most people, I mean, at this stage right now for me, it's number 2 for most people who talk to me. They're not willing to do whatever it takes to get the money or to live their best life. Their dreams are not worth it. So ask yourself which one works, which category are you in. I mean, not saying that, you know, I mean, clearly if the coach is not for you, then you won't find the money to go like invest in yourself, right? If the coach is for you, you know that in your heart that this service is for you, this house is for you, then the question is, then is your excuses you're not willing to do whatever it takes to find the money to fund your dreams. Be it a coach, I'm not even talking about coach, be it a dress, a shoe, a pair of shoes, or like that coffee that you so need every morning, or this yoga class, this yoga retreat, this spiritual retreat, or the house or the car. You just don't want to do whatever it takes, so you settle. Like, I really don't need that. I really don't need that fancy car. Well, a car is just a car. Well, let me tell you this. A car is not just a car, okay? The car, yes, the fundamental function for the car is to get you from point A to point B. But let me tell you, a car is just not a car, okay? I drive a BMW. It's every penny well spent. Let me tell you this. I would not drive anything other than a Continental car, because I don't know if you know cars very well, but Japanese cars are not very strong. I don't want to talk about this a lot, but anyway, it's over. I met an accident many years ago when I was pregnant and not in my frame of mind. My BM smashed into a Toyota. Do you know what happened? The Toyota was completely smashed. Her bumper was smashed. Do you know what happened to my BM? It's just a bump. But still, that stupid bump cost me $10,000 in insurance. But that's besides the point. Okay, you pay for what you want. But that's besides the point, really besides the point. I have all my 2 children then, and I was pregnant. And that sturdy car saved us. So it's every penny well spent, I tell you, right? And the drive in the BMW, in my own car, I know there are other series which is probably more yummalicious, but the drive is fantastic. Let me tell you this. I feel powerful and good in my BMW. So don't tell me it's just about the car. It's not, okay? It makes me feel good, okay? So there's nothing superficial about this, because I know that car is strong enough to protect me and my children, okay? So live in reality. There's nothing materialistic about this, all right? There really isn't, okay? If you walk into Ritz-Carlton, the service that they give you, I enjoy that service. There's nothing materialistic about this, because I'm paying for good service. If you don't want service, then go to a fast food restaurant and you will see the difference, right? So you will literally pay for what you invest in. You can go figure out through a self-help book, which I'm pretty sure, like for myself, will become a self-help book. That's what it happened. There's no accountability in it. You have to do it on your own. And half the things I need when I want a question to be answered, there is no back and forth for me. So you basically have to DIY. It's not that it's money not well spent. At least it gives me a certain level of information to want more, which is, you know, that kind of service that I need. I want like this kind of service, right? So you know what you need right now. For me at this level, if I want something, I go get this done. Like I told you, right? I just bought a course on Instagram because I'm not good at Instagram. I know what I need. And because I bought that course, I bought the information, I implemented, and now my Instagram followers are growing on a daily basis. I just started. And so now I just want to hire her to just revamp the whole thing for me, because I do not want to sit down there and do it all the time. So as a woman of influence with money, you get to do cool things like this. So don't tell me that you don't need the money, right? You do. You need to hire people. Right now, I have a personal assistant, and she gets all the things done. Like yesterday, she told me, like, you know, Elise, the link, I want to shout out to Christine. She's really awesome. So she got my link corrected, which I just randomly just put. Without this money to hire someone, she will not be looking out for me. Right? So I'm super grateful that I have the money right now to go hire her so that she can get the back end stuff for me, which I don't want to do. Get it? Do you get it? Do you actually get this? So think about, so start from, you know, I stayed in this place longer than I really needed to. but I don't want you to stay in this place longer than you need to. Just decide from this moment, like, you don't need a lot of stuff. Let me tell you, I had only one VA who wasn't even very efficient, and I made 6 figures. So you decide how many staff you need. Some people might need 30, but they may not be your reality. So get into reality, right? What do you actually need? You may not even need a staff. Like my friend, he runs this video marketing thing, edit, right? And he has a payment plan. He has a membership thing. I may not have him as a permanent staff, but I have options to buy that, and then he get this done for me. So I know I don't need a staff yet at this point until I decide to go big on my show, which I don't really intend to right now. So you know what you want and what's your intention. So you first start out with the intention. Like, you know, I'm going to LA. It requires money, all right? I am not saying it is free. You need to get into reality, like how much it actually costs, because I'm gifting these people, my clients, my Cool Cat clients, a gift, which is I'm gifting them night stay in wherever that we are going. It's coming out of my pocket. Do you realize it's coming out of my pocket? It has to come out from somewhere. I'm not making them do it. It's coming out from me because I rather do this and make them happy, and so that, you know, they have a good time with me and not worry, oh my God, can I come, can I don't come, blah, blah, blah. So I'm making that decision easier for them. It comes from somewhere. It needed to come from money. So you need to know how much your events needs to cost you. You cannot be so and just like, you know, God's gonna take care of me. You need to know these sum of money. You need to be a smart, savvy businesswoman. Okay, that's what I need to learn. Okay, I am a damn good healer. I'm a damn good card reader as well. All right, I'm not that good right now because it's rusty, but because of that, I'm honed into my intuition, and that's why I'm an effective mentor and coach right now to my clients. I can feel them. Not that I'm great with healing right now because I've lost touch, but at that point I was a damn good healer, and I was a pretty good, not pretty, what, an excellent card reader as well. If that alone, those gifts alone can get me somewhere, I wouldn't be needing to do this. I wouldn't need to learn how to master money. I would be a skinny billionaire by now, having my own island somewhere on Fiji Island. Okay, so you need to get into reality with your money. And how I got in reality with my money is I made money a person. I made money a person, and I drew him closer to me, because how you do relationships is how you do everything. If you are screwed with relationships, you are also pretty much screwed with money, and you're pretty much screwed with God, because it's all a relationship thing. Okay, and you're pretty screwed with yourself too, because it's also a relationship. So I highly invite you to just work with your relationship with yourself, with money, and with God. These 3 people, it will set you free. That's what I did. Okay, I worked on my relationship with God. I worked on my relationship with myself, and I worked on my relationship with money. So I sat money down, I looked him in the eye, and I literally asked him, what the hell is wrong with you, and how I can make you love me, and how can I make you stay with me, and how can I make you show up on time for me, so that when I need the money to fund certain things, you are there for me. Okay, so you do what you need to do. There is no trading. I do not encourage barter trade as well. If you want, go pay for someone else's service, because you can afford it. All right, if you so value yourself and the other person's service, and you know that person can help you in whatever ways, lose weight, find true love, or whatever it is, then be prepared to invest in them, because you are investing in yourself. So stop this barter trading, whatever it is, because it's not serving anyone. Yeah, you may save a penny here or there, but what you're telling your unconscious mind is it's either priceless or it's killing you, right? So if you want something, you can afford it. You can. I am not just saying it. You can afford it. I came from a space where I had no money in my bank, $1.50. $50. When I got to 50 cents, right, the bank wrote to me and said, you need to have a minimum of $1, otherwise your bank account will be closed. And at some point it went to a negative. I am not shy to tell you this, because I've overcome my story, and I'm a woman of influence, and there's no shame around my story. All right, I was shameful then, but now I'm not. I'm using my story to inspire and hopefully influence you to step up and stop being squeamish about money. As a woman of influence, be comfortable we're talking about money. Okay, men are really good at this. That's why, you know, they play with the big numbers. Why can't we? Why can't we women play with the big numbers? Why can't we roll with the big numbers? Why can't we make the big numbers too? All right, so this is all about money. Be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, then talk about it until it doesn't hurt anymore. That's what we're doing in the program, and that's what we were going to be doing in the Women of Influence program as well. We're going to talk about whatever that is hurting you. We will talk until it doesn't hurt anymore, because that hurt is not serving you. You want to be a hub for love, a magnet for love. You want to be loved. You want to love and be loved. You not only want to influence, but you want your community to love you as well, not in a narcissist way. Like how Patricia said she loves me, I love her too. Like you know, in our sessions, I'm really strict. I mean, not like a disciplinarian, like I don't really take her shit, but that doesn't mean that I don't love her. Love can come in various forms, various shapes and sizes, okay? Just because someone says, oh, I love you, may or may not be true. Somebody who says, you go freaking do it yourself, may or may not be love as well, but it may not be hate. They just want you to find your own voice and your own independence emotionally, okay? And let me tell you something. Millionaires and rich people are very emotionally stable, they are emotionally savvy, and they are emotionally rich as well as financially rich. The lower income people and the middle class people are emotionally poor, and therefore they are financially poor. So we have to work on your emotions, all right? I mean, I wasn't like this. I used to be like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. That can be learned. It can be changed. I was that woman, like, oh, it's okay, everything is okay. Oh, you know, you decide. I was that woman before. When I built my business, I had no choice but to step up, right? And to a certain point, I had to tone down. I was thinking too much like a man, and I forgot that I was a woman. And so that could happen as well. But I'm saying, so therefore now you have to have a balance. You think like a man, but you act like a woman. I enjoy being a woman. I enjoy looking pretty. Am I pretty? I do. I don't care whether you think I'm pretty. The key is I think I'm pretty. That's all that matters. I feel good about myself. I feel good about making decisions on my own. When I make the wrong decision, I accept it, right? Because it's all a learning process. And I feel very empowered. And I feel very confident in who I am and what I can help women do as well. So you need to have that level of confidence. All right. So let me go back to the chat box. And so I would highly invite you to invite your friends if you found this valuable. Well, once again, you know, for me, I teach through stories because stories are powerful and they get past your unconscious mind and your ego mind. All right. And what is it I wanted to say? And come back in tomorrow. We're going to be talking about sales. Okay. Questions. So should we not be shameful even if we are having $1 and less days in our bank accounts? Well, why should you be shameful, right? Are you taking complete responsibility that you're having $1 days in your bank? Well, I have 50 cents, you know, like, you know, Amanda, I made 6 figures. I struggled with a lot of $1 days, right? I struggled with that for 10 years. I wasn't shameful about this, but I just didn't know I just didn't know I enjoyed it. And then when I learned how to make 6 figures, and then I kind of like didn't keep it because of my crazy intention that I didn't want to have anything to do with money, right? And then money started to just not want to be around me. And then what happened was then banks were calling. I sent my bank account and sometimes were negative. I didn't feel shameful about that at that point last year, but I knew that I could do more. There was no shame. There wasn't any shame. There wasn't any guilt either. Because I knew I'm not doing anything. I took responsibility for it because I wasn't taking any action. So how and why should I be shameful? Because it's me. So it's only shameful when you know you've done something wrong, right? So are you doing something wrong that's causing you this? Why are you causing? Why are you even allowing yourself to have $1 days in your bank account? You know, I was unconscious then. I didn't know what I needed to do. I knew I needed some information. I didn't have the information. When I had the information, I flew. So what you don't have right now is probably the right information to help you with your money story. But it starts from you. You have to make the decision right now that you will no longer tolerate $1 days in your bank account. It's nobody's fault. It's yours. You have to take full responsibility for it. Nobody said, Amanda, you need to have, you can only have one. So make a decision that you no longer will tolerate this, right? And then you will do whatever it takes. Get clients, get another job, really literally do whatever it takes, legally, morally, without prostitution and selling your children, to make money. Because we have to learn how to make active money before we can make passive income. That's just the way. There's no way of bypass or whatever it is. Okay, so now you have to make that decision, right? Because I don't think God enjoys seeing you with $1 days. I didn't feel shameful, but I took responsibility for my situation. Okay. Right, there's nothing wrong with wanting to drive a fancy car. Right, I drove a performance sports car. It was a Porsche. Yeah, my dream car. Oh my God, love. Yes, I love. I haven't actually, maybe I should like go for a test drive. You know what got us to buy the BM? Well, we were driving some Korean car, and then it was time up, so we upgraded to a Volkswagen. It was another Conti car. It's the lower grade of the entry level, as my husband would say, the entry level of Continental car. And then we drove it for 6 months, and we're like, you know what, let's go test drive a BMW. So out of this crazy notion, we went to test drive a BMW, and then we loved it so much, and then we did this. I'm like, you know what, let's do it. And that's how we got this, you know. So maybe I should go test drive the Porsche now. Yeah. So with free mastermind, because there's no money commitment from the person taking the mastermind, they feel there's no monetary financial loss to them. So they don't turn up for the mastermind and for themselves. Yeah, that's true. So whenever money's involved, people become more accountable because they have made an investment. The money comes from somewhere. They have to do something to make the money. So to spend that money, they have some attachment to it. And so yes, paid mastermind works better. Yep. Yes, since yesterday, I've been conscious to keep it. I have been gentle with myself and understanding, but I do not let myself lose faith for more than 10 minutes. You mean in terms of running? I think what's serving me is that I really don't keep track. I don't have a watch with me, and I just go. And I think I learned this from Wayne Dyer. What he says is very true. You just take that next step. You just take that next step. Can you go on? Can you go on? And then as you just go on, you will have like 5 laps. So you don't think about whether you cannot do it. You just think for the next step. That's how we do life, right? We think the next step. Can we take the next step? Can we take that next step? So it's not about time. Sometimes I do 5 minutes, sometimes I do 20 minutes, sometimes I do 15. It doesn't matter what the time frame is. The thing is how my body can keep it and whether I can keep up or not. Because after 6 days, let me tell you, my knees are like shaking and aching, but I still want to do it, right? So, and I feel good about doing this. So today is raining. I'm really upset about this. Like, oh man, can I still go out? Maybe I'll find an alternative. And there's always an alternative to exercise. If you so choose to work out, if you so choose to make money, there's always an alternative. There's always something else that can be done. So since it's raining, maybe I'll do floor exercises today. So to just at least have that going. So take time out of the equation and take that next step. That's gonna help you with just keeping on track. Time is not the issue, really. Timing is not the issue, right? Some people can make $1 million in 1 minute. Some people can spend $1 million in 1 minute. So it's not the time, really. Okay. Alrighty. Let me see what. Okay, so just in general, well, more about things will work out. I will keep faith, right? I think I'm being too hard on myself. So I feel shame that I can't get it together. Well, there's a lot to it that you can't get it together. So then you need help, right? You need a third party kind of advice. You need to seek professional advice. You need to do things a certain way. You need to do things another way because whatever that you're doing, it's not working out. Then you need to learn another way that will get you your that results. But faith alone will not get you where you want to go. Faith will activate it. The belief that you will get there would anchor your dreams. Now it's a matter of taking that action with the right belief system. Okay? Do you actually believe you can live that life? Because if you don't, then there's no point in us talking in this, and there's no point in me teaching you anything at all. All these information are worthless until and unless you make that decision, or at least believe that you can achieve that, right? If you don't believe you can make 6 figures, then me giving you the 6-figure formula is not going to work out, you know? So do you actually believe that you can actually live that life? Can you see yourself? The how doesn't matter right now, because the how won't show up until you make that decision anyway. The money's not going to show up until you make that decision. Money fulfills a purpose, and if there's no purpose, why should it show up? Okay? So I really invite you, all of you, to really ask yourself this question. Can you see yourself living in that life? And are you even giving yourself that permission to daydream? Okay? All right? So I know I've had you for almost 2 hours right now, and you probably have things to do. Watch the replay, watch it again, and you will learn something new again. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about sales. This is something else that I have mastered, and you should too, and you not should. You need to master if you want financial freedom and you want freedom in your life, literally. All right, so we're going to be talking about that. If you know of anyone who needs to learn sales and master sales, and send them and invite them to the workshop. All right, in the meantime, I will reply to your comments, and in the, if you have any questions, please still go ahead and type in the questions, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And oh yes, please remember to claim your gift with Patricia. If you feel like you can help, you need help with your about page, and you can't articulate your story, and that sells on your behalf, then I highly encourage you to reach out to her and to claim your gift. And if you're not the selected one, she is offering a very good deal right now, so let her talk to you about that. So in the meantime, I want you to apply. I really want you to apply, because I see that being a woman of influence will change every area of your life, because I have done it, and I see my clients done it, and I want the same for you as well. So if you feel called to, just apply. It's free, right? So go to that link, elise-n.com/v2/own it. All right. So I will see you again tomorrow. Bye. I love you so much.